Good evening and welcome to our 98.7 WNNS Facebook Live event here in studio as we are talking about anti-bullying and cyberbullying, and we're going to do with our esteemed panel. First of all, my partner Deb West here on the morning show is with us, and on the end is Cindy Martsch. She's a social worker at Springfield School District 186. To my right is Christine. She is with the Illinois Attorney General's office, Christine Feller, and then Mandy is a sophomore at Springfield High School. Ladies, welcome to the panel. We appreciate it. And let's get started with you, Cindy. You know, we hear a lot about bullying and we hear a lot about teasing and bullying. And before we go any further, I want to make sure, too, that we let you know that if you're watching this live, you are welcome to bring in your questions. You can make those comments right there on Facebook, and we will answer them as best we can. First of all, Cindy, what is the difference between teasing and bullying?
A good place to begin is with a basic definition of bullying, and we know that bullying can be physical, it can be emotional. Christine can talk to us more about the electronic piece, but it is, putting fear into a person, harming a person either with words or with actions, taking or destroying their things. And again, with that bullying piece, it's a repeated action and there's a power differential. Someone is definitely feeling afraid and not safe in that situation. When you think of teasing, it's more situational. Perhaps one time it's possible that people could be having fun in that situation. When there's a bullying situation, there's one person who's definitely not having fun. So it's a power differential. And the other piece I wanted to say was with teasing, there's no fear involved. There's no fear. You might be uncomfortable, but you're not afraid. So those are the differences that I think about.
So we've seen in recent years with the advent of social media and texting and all of that, we're starting to see more of what we're calling cyberbullying. And Christine, can you maybe define specifically what cyberbullying is? Is it just limited to social media? Is it texting, or is it any electronic use?
Sure. When it comes to social media, we'll still have that same power and balance, but now we're using our digital devices and we're using our social media apps. And oftentimes why individuals will choose social media, one, we're in a digital, very connected environment that our kids are connected 24/7, many of them. But the second reason might be is this perceived anonymity, right? So I can post things and hope that nobody knows who I am. We know every time we connect, there's an IP address. But as a teenager, I might think that I could get away with it. Other teens may be as bold to go ahead and say it, knowing who I am. Why might I do it? I'm not face to face. I don't have to see your reaction, so I'm going to lack that empathy piece. And again, my parents might not be there. They might not be monitoring, less of a crowd for discipline purposes.
Now, when you see things like Snapchat and things like that, where these posts are disappearing and there isn't that paper trail, does it make it more of a challenge, especially as parents, as we're trying to help our kids through and track things and pay attention?
Most definitely with social media accounts, depending what the settings are that our children have set them up, if they're public, private, who their friends or followers are, it can be harder to know what is going on within those social media accounts. So we encourage that ongoing dialogue, just as we're concerned about who they're hanging out with after school and what they're doing. We want to know, where are they spending their time online and who are they connecting with? Is anything making them feel uncomfortable on some of these posts? Looking for some of their reactions when they're using their devices.
You're watching a Facebook Live event, and again, if you are watching this live, you are welcome to bring in your questions right now. We're going to bring on Mandy. She is a sophomore at Springfield High School. Mandy, welcome. And first of all, is bullying in schools, in your opinion, more of a problem or less of a problem these days?
For my age group, it's not as much as a problem, but it really depends on which school you go to. If they have more of a controlled environment of how they react to bullying, like you can fill out a bullying report, which thankfully I haven't had to do, but I know some people have to. But years ago, 7th grade, when I was in 7th grade, it wasn't you weren't as able to get through what's going on because there's not really many people that could help you out back then. But I know nowadays you can talk to more people about it and get through whatever you're going through at that time.
So you would say there's a better understanding, you think, of what bullying is, that kids are more aware of it?
Yeah. All my friends are really aware of it too, and I know people at school don't really get bullied as much, but I know that a lot of people still do, so that's a problem, but it's getting better.
So the efforts from the task force and what we're learning as we're gathering more information, adjusting to the new frontier out there with the social media, is you are seeing an impact on that.
Well, yes, but I just wish like more people my age, because I know it happens in high school a lot. You always hear about, stuff in high school going on with bullies, and like I wish that we could get out to them more. But I know that a lot of like elementary schoolers, middle schoolers, they know more about it because of the task force. Yeah.
Let's bring back Cindy Martsch here to talk a little bit about, what parents should be looking for. When you talk about the trauma, I think when we were all kids, if we were victims of bullying, it ended at the school bell and you got a reprieve on it until the next day. Not so, as cyberbullying has made it more difficult. What should parents be looking for if they suspect their child is a victim of bullying? And what about if their child is a bully too?
Well, I guess I would say we all know that raising children, teens, preteens, it can be an emotional minefield. There's a lot of ups and downs. That kind of goes with being a certain age. But for parents to notice a change in sleeping habits, a change in eating habits, and I would say also look for that change in the social crowd. Are you hanging with different people? Are you going to different sites as you used to go to? That could indicate there's something or someone that's giving your child a feeling of unease or fear. And as always, I know it's easier said than done, being a parent of two graduates of Springfield High School. Try your best to talk to your kid. I know they don't always want to talk to us, but try your best and ask those hard questions. And if it's not you to ask the question, find another trusted grown-up that you know that perhaps can get the child to reveal what might be happening. Now, the other question was a tough one. What to do if you think your child is the aggressor? I would say some of the same things are going to be true. A change in a social habit or a change in a pattern. And I know Christine can talk more about it, but maybe an increase in privacy, not letting you know where they're going or what they're doing in the world and also with their technology. So those are some things to watch for.
And certainly as we're dealing with bullying, there are laws that are being broken, people are crossing the line, and we're starting to see some changes in the laws, especially as it relates to cyberbullying. So what are some of the relatively new laws that we should be aware of to help protect our kids?
In January of 2015, the bullying law was expanded. It had already included the cyberbullying piece, but what it also now includes is off-campus activity or after-school hours. So meaning if this bullying is occurring online on the weekends, school can address it. And again, oftentimes kids will say, well, that's my time, it's none of their business. But if it is impacting a student's day, if it's impacting Mandy's day and she doesn't feel safe, or it impacts her learning environment that she cannot learn, that's why school will pull in students to talk about these issues.
You're watching a Facebook Live event, and again, if you are watching this live, you're welcome to put a question or comment in for our panel here as we talk about anti-bullying during October's Anti-Bullying Month. Back to Mandy, our sophomore at Springfield High. Mandy, what advice would you give to someone in school, especially somebody younger than you are that's being bullied?
Well, I would always say that you should talk to somebody, and I cannot stress that enough, that when you talk to, sometimes parents, they might not understand, or they're not used to having a child that's being bullied or anything like that, but you really have to talk to, like Ms. Martsch said, a trusted adult. You can talk to your friends and they can talk to other people to get you help. But I would say for people that are younger than me, and if you're in middle school, that I believe that there's a social worker at a middle school that could help you out with what you're going through, and they have different activities. They had different activities in 7th grade at my school, and people come in and we just all hang out and just talk. And if you have a friend, just talk to them too. Tell your parents and they might understand, but make sure it's clear to them so that they can know how to deal with whatever problems you're going through. But in all, just try to stay strong through it. And it was hard at the time, but you get stronger from people always getting on your back like me, because I'm just so over it now. So hopefully you'll get to a point where you could just be like, okay, they're talking about me, oh well, I don't really care. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Just be strong about it.
I know we're going to be running short on time here, but Christine, where should parents or students for that matter, if they have questions, they have concerns, where can they reach out on the web? Because I know there's a lot of information out there. What are some good, credible sources?
Sure. First, I'll start with the Attorney General's website, ebully411.com. Another website specific to cyberbullying is cyberbullying.us. They've done research for the last decade, and they're experts in this area. For parents looking for resources of just what apps, what social media, what gaming they should be playing, Common Sense Media. And lastly, I would redirect them back to the Springfield School District because, again, as Mandy has said and Cindy has stated, it's knowing your trusted adults and developing those relationships within that school environment so our kids have someone to speak to during the day.
We encourage you to reach out, especially if you're a victim of bullying. You know, the worst victim of this crime is silence. We definitely don't want to be silent about this. Please speak up and say something and use the resources that you've heard during this video to find out more about how you can prevent bullying in our schools. Thank you for watching.